Welcome to Monday Night Poetry. Let's bake cookies. I'm ready to make cookies. I realized after I got started, I don't have a hairnet, I don't have an apron, I don't even have any gloves, but I washed my hands and I got, hygienic as far as cleanliness. But there's just some things that I just don't have, and I wasn't really prepared fully for this activity. But are we ever just 100% ever ready for something? So I got things that were necessary here. I sat down and I thought about it. I was like, oh my goodness, it's more to just making cookies and just starting to make cookies, at least the way that I wanted to make them. I mean, I guess I can go to the grocery store and buy the pre-cut cookies. I do that sometimes, but that's still a process of mental preparation. But for me in making the cookies today, I said, well, do I want the drop cookies or do I want the kind that you roll out and use the cookie cutters? Because either way, I have to think about it and really prepare myself, because for both of those types of cookies, it's going to take not just preparation, but the ingredients are, it's going to differ a little bit. And the utensils that I'm going to use would be quite different. So I had to make up my mind. So I finally made up my mind and said I'll just do the drop cookies because I don't have cookie cutters. So I made my decision to do the rollout cookies. And so I said, well, it's probably not going to require a whole lot of ingredients, even though I do have, just about everything you think about. I have walnuts here, and I have some cranberries and, peanut butter and stuff like that, and oatmeal, if I was going to do that. But, I said, I'm just going to keep it simple because I'm not really ready for all this extra stuff. Maybe next time I will be. So I just do the basic cookie, like the universal sugar cookie. So I got all my dry ingredients. I found a few recipes. Some haven't really been a big cookie maker. Now, cakes and stuff like that, I can do that. So I had to get a few recipes, and I said, okay, I need to get all my dry ingredients together. So, I've got my all-purpose flour, I've got my sugar, I've got some baking soda and some other things in my Splenda. And then I got the ingredients that will eventually be my wet ingredients, such as my water, my oil, vanilla extract, stuff like that, things that are going to mix together really well to make these cookies. And so then, of course, I'm not going to use my hands, so I got my whisk. I do have a handy dandy, a really nice mixer. So I just have these here to show you that I have my mixer. And then I have, of course, measuring cups, and then I have some other measuring cups as well. I have wax paper, and I do have a rolling pin, but it's just not that, classy. But I do have one, so it'll work. It doesn't have to be like top of the line for it to work, does it? I mean, does it have to be like the most expensive rolling pin? Anyway, I have an old school one, those wood ones from back in the day. So I got all my ingredients together. I'm preparing, and I actually have some already done. You know how they do on the cooking shows. And then I thought, wow, I'm going to put them in the oven. I took them out the oven. Not only did they smell good, but they just looked fantastic. Like the kind in the grocery store. You go to the grocery store, you see all the beautiful cookies packaged up nice in the paper and behind the beautiful counters of the bakery, or even if at your favorite, these new gourmet cookie shops now, like Cookie Crumble and places like that. So it just looks so good to the point where I didn't even want to eat it. But I said, you know what, all this hard work I put into these cookies, I'm going to eat this cookie. And it was so good. And I thought to myself, oh my goodness, this is a lot of work. It doesn't take that long, but it's a process to making your cookies. Conversely, the same with a cake and such. Then I started thinking, my goodness, we go through life the same exact way. Like, we have to think about what we want to do in life, how we want to prepare ourselves each day, or just maybe with the goals that we have. And sometimes we don't have all the equipment and the tools necessary. And so We just use what we have. And you may not always be fully equipped, but you do the best that you can. And you may not have all the expensive things that you need, but you use what you do have. And you find that it will work. And as we go through life, we go through trials and tribulations and struggles and triumphs even. And all of those things that you add together gets you to where you are in the end. It's like with the cookie. Like after all these ingredients were mixed together, blended well, you put it in the oven, in this hot, hot, hot oven. And what does the oven do? It mixes all those ingredients up together, melts the butter in there so that when you have this delicious, beautiful cookie that comes out, you could faintly taste that fresh, real butter in there. But you really can't identify the flour. You can't identify some things you might be able to identify to the taste, but for the most part, the hot oven, the heat, the pressure, that hard part of our lives is what blends everything together that makes up us and who we are. A lot of times most of the time, people don't see that process that we go through. All they see is the end product, the cookie, and they want a piece of it. They want to taste it. They want to have a part of it, but not seeing all the things that it took to get through it. Which brings me to my poem tonight. A poem that I wrote called Four Seasons, which takes you through a process of loving yourself, even through the hard times, even when no one else does, and even when no one else is there. I loved you when no one else did. When the sun rose at sunrise without another soul even giving a liking to your existence. I loved you when no one else did. When the sun set, leaving us with the darkest hour. Although I was alone, I loved you, I loved me when no one else did. When winter came and there was no one around to comfort you but me through the storm, I was there. I loved you when no one else did. When springtime came and the beautiful poppy bloomed, I was there to help you pick the very best. Oh yes, I was there. I was there in our summertime when the warm burned bright, the warmth of the sun like a moth to a flame. I was there in our fall when the color of the leaves changed and the nighttime came too soon, but you camouflaged me and I camouflaged you, and the falling leaves I shielded you from. I was there in the winter time when the cold took a hold of you and the spring came back around again. And then those raindrops fell and covered my eyes from truly seeing your beauty. But I was there. I was there through it all. And I will always be there. Even sometimes when my mirror, Valerie, gets cloudy. Thank you for joining me for Monday Night Poetry. And always remember, when you do things for yourself and write for yourself, the right people will be there and follow you. Thank you for joining me tonight.